Everybody reacts differently when they find out that they're charged by the federal government. Many times with somebody like JC, who was a law-abiding person, had no idea that any investigation was going on. It's a total surprise.
I was looking at 25 years in prison, which for me is the rest of my life.
Here's a man that had no criminal conduct. He was a man of impeccable reputation who had no idea that what he was doing was thought by the feds to be criminal.
My wife got in an accident about 20 years ago, and so she has a degenerative disc in her neck. She doesn't take any narcotics, hasn't taken narcotics for probably the last 18 years or so. She just can't, she's allergic to them. And some of the people that worked with me in the insurance business were working in pharmaceutical sales. And we got a sample of some of the pain cream.
In 2014, the opioid epidemic was ravaging this country, including those people who had served in the military and their families. And those folks could not get non-opioid prescriptions. And so Congress said, look, it's not right, Department of Defense, you need to fix this. And the Department of Defense said, we will. We'll let people take an opioid alternative, these compounded creams.
And I was able to rub it on her neck, and it took the pain away. So I believed in the topicals right off the bat.
And to incentivize private pharmacies to make these creams, they made it very profitable. And years later, the Defense Department said, in retrospect, we spent a lot more money than we thought we would, and that must be a crime.
Somewhere in the middle of 2015, Park and King they were raided. They had the government come in, raid them, take a bunch of files and things, and I didn't really know what was going on. I stayed with the company. I knew the owner, I was working with him directly, and he said, no, there's really no problem. We called the authorities because of another rep that had done some things. But for myself and my team, it was business as normal. And then I moved on and started other businesses, started doing other practices at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, and didn't even think about it again until 2019. 5 o'clock in the morning, I get a bam, bam, bam on my door, scare the life out of me. I've got 2 sons in college. I'm thinking someone's dead because I open up the door and there's cops everywhere.
You have allegations of receiving kickbacks, and then you have the money laundering charges, which are reserved for narco-terrorists and international drug traffickers, and it was shocking to me. And so my first impression was, God forbid this be an innocent person charged with these very serious crimes.
Some people may talk to the federal authorities when they're arrested, and that can be disastrous for several reasons.
There's guys that took plea deals and said, hey man, I just didn't feel like I had the money to finish fighting this thing. They're going to spend time in prison. They feel like they didn't do anything wrong.
Some people are smart enough to know that there's nothing they can do for themselves other than retaining a lawyer who knows how to defend a complicated federal fraud case.
I feel like it's 100% worth it. It was money well spent, and I've got my freedom, so what is the price of that?